This is Britt Caswell with another example video. In this video, I'm covering example 2 from section 4-4 in the SavvasRealize Algebra 1 textbook. So in this example, we are going to rewrite an inequality and graph it. Sorry, it says and. Sometimes I get excited when I type and inequality and graph it. So here we go. The Science Club sells t-shirts and keychains to raise money. How many t-shirts and keychains could they sell to meet or exceed their goal? Alrighty, so let's look at creating some kind of inequality. So I'm going to go ahead and call t-shirts X and keychains Y. Yeah, that's what they do later on. That way, I use variables that I'm used to using, okay? So if they have a $500 goal, that means they want to make at least $500, right? So they want to make more if possible. So my inequality, when I go to write it, needs to be more than the 500, but it could equal that 500. They could sell exactly $500 worth of stuff and meet that goal. So then in order to write the equation here, I'm going to say $10 times X. That'll get me the amount of money they make off t-shirts, plus $2 times Y, which will give me the amount of money they make off keychains. And if I add those together, that should get me to my goal. So there is our equation. So personally, for situations like this, where it's in standard form, and my number's kind of big, when I go to graph this, what I like to do is I actually like to find the intercepts. So to find the x-intercept, I'm going to set y equal to 0, and to find the y-intercept, I'm going to set x equal to 0. That way I know exactly how big of a graph I need. Another nice thing about this graph is I know I'm not going to sell negative numbers of t-shirts or keychains. So I'm only going to need the first quadrant. So that's going to help me get a bigger graph when I go to do it. So here we go. So this says 10x plus 0y is equal to 500. The y goes away, so I get 10x is equal to 500. And if I divide by 10, I get x equals 50. So my x-intercept will be at 50, 0. Now my y-axis, I'm going to set x equal to 0. That cancels out, so I get 2y is equal to 500. And if I divide by 2, I get that y is equal to 250. So this is where I want to consider my scaling on my axis, because if I count by 50s, my graph is going to be really tiny and hideous. If I count by 1s, it won't fit on my thing. If I count by 10s, I'd have 25 lines going up. That's still a lot. So my scale for my x-axis, I'm going to have it count by 10s. Alright, so here's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And then my y-axis, I'm going to have this count by 50s. So here's 50, 100, 150, 200, and then 250. And so what that's going to do is that's going to get me a nice graph. It's going to get me a nice stretched out graph. So I have put both of those points on my graph, on my axes. And then I'm going to do my best to draw as straight of a line as possible. And I think I did pretty good there. So then I'm going to go ahead and pick a test point, just to see where I need to shade. Now, if possible, I always pick 0, 0 if it's not on the line. So I'm going to use the test point 0, 0. So I have 10 times 0 plus 2 times 0 is greater than or equal to 500. Well, those both equal 0. So is 0 greater than or equal to 500? No. So I need to shade away from the point. So that means that when I go to shade, I'm going to shade all this stuff out here. And it goes up to the line, and it's included on the line as well. So any of these options would work. So I don't know. So let's pick a couple of these points to explain it. You know, they would need to sell. They could pick 50 shirts and 50 keychains. They could do 40 shirts and I don't know, 200 keychains. See what I'm saying? There's a lot of different points. They could choose anything that would be above that line, and they would meet their budget. Or, sorry, break their goal. So then what they're asking us to do is it says, will the Science Club meet their goal if they sell 30 t-shirts and 90 keychains? So let's look at it on here. So here's 30 shirts, and here's 90 keychains. So it looks like it's exactly on the line, maybe? I don't actually know where that is on the y-axis. Like, where is that? So what I would do is I would actually take this back to our original equation, or sorry, original inequality, and I would test it there. So remember, we have 10x plus 2y. So 10 times 30 plus 2 times 90 is greater than or equal to that 500. So I'm going back to this just to see if that point's actually on the line or not. So 10 times 30 is 300. And 2 times 90 is 180. So 300 plus 180, that's 480. So here I have a false inequality. So no. 30 shirts and 90 keychains would make them $20 short of their budget. So this point is actually here, slightly below the line, like that, I think. So there you have it. That is one of our real-world situations. Until next time.